Hello, I would like to show you a mod of the first Prince of Persia game. I've spoken about the original in a previous video. This mod, however, is something a bit different. It's called Princess of Persia and it was programmed by Clive Dent. He modified the story and the graphics, and the game became about the princess rescuing herself and the kingdom in the process, too. She isn't just a damsel in distress, she fights for her freedom. She's named Anita after Anita Sarkeesian, who is a feminist activist that the developer has a lot of respect for. So I think it is fitting that the game's princess would be a nod to her work. The game can be played online or downloaded and run under DOS or an emulator. I've used DOSBox and I'm going to play it for you today. Let's see how it goes. The image of the girl here is modeled after a girl who was getting ready for a paintball game. So her face is very determined. It's an interesting look. Late at night, the Grand Vizier Jafar visited the Sultan. Tonight, your daughter will marry me, or I will seize the throne by force. My allies are waiting impatiently for your answer. So do we have a deal? And you see here, he also modified the graphics. If you remember, the scene here was supposed to be the princess's bedroom or something of that sort. And this is a library, and that is the Sultan. And the Sultan, I think, is deliberately a small old man, frail, and yeah, unfortunately, Jafar is a powerful wizard and he manages to frighten him a bit. We have the same hourglass, just a little bit different in style. Hmm. Very well then, I give you 1 hour, but don't disappoint me, whispered Jafar, leaving. The Sultan became very sad, for he loved his daughter deeply. But where is she? Anita didn't seem to be just anywhere. Was she captured? So we're going to find out now. Okay, let's take a quick look at the credits. So you see you have modified by Clive Dent below, all the credits from the original game, and he also has all of the high scores. That's nice. Okay, so this is level 1. One of the dungeon levels, and you can already see the changes in the graphical style compared to the original. First of all, the most prominent is the fact that we don't have a prince anymore, we have a princess. And she has a slimmer physique, different clothing, of course, long hair, and naturally a different voice, a feminine voice. So these are all altered compared to the original. And you can also see that the the graphical style of the walls is different. So there are smaller bricks than in the original, even though we still have the same torches, the same background brick, the same sword. That skeleton is the same. So there are a lot of things that have remained as they were, but like I said, we have some different stones in the masonry, which is nice. But still, all the gameplay is exactly the same. I don't think there was much changed from the original, just some graphical stuff. So if you're familiar with the game, you will realize that this is level 1. It's quite the easy one. And most people, I believe, who have played it will be already very familiar with it. I mean, I practically know it by heart. Right, this is the first guard, and you will see that the guards are kind of different too. They have different colored clothing. Some of them will have um, accessories. So there will be women guards. You will see that with jewelry, some adornments on the turban, stuff like that. And also a completely different guard that is a woman. We will see her later. Um, there's also a different animal that comes to your rescue. You will see that as well. And what else? Look, this one is purplish. Yes, also the Shadow Prince is now a Shadow Princess. And the effect is the same, of course, the outline of the character and the character sprite is slightly different. All right, so I will have to warn you from the beginning. I have not managed to yet finish Prince of Persia in a legal way without using any kind of tricks. I have played through all of the levels, start to finish, independently, of course. However, there are times when I run into bugs or my arrow keys just don't register. I think I've busted my up arrow key just playing this game. So, unfortunately, I don't manage to finish the game start to finish. I always rely on the cheats. I'm sorry about that. I know I have a Prince of Persia tips video in the works, so you'll have to trust my word for what is going on. I don't know how the things are supposed to be done. I know how to um, push the guard into the spikes, for example. I know a lot of these things and I can do them, but sometimes it takes a little practice, and I don't think you want to see me practicing over and over how to get the exact right timing for the guard or for the chompers or something like that, because I might fail. So that is the warning sign for you. Earlier, I do believe we have seen some different potions. Here is one of the big ones. So in level 2 here, it's one of these easily accessible ones. It's slightly different in how it looks, but still a big vase. That's how some people call it, a big vase. All right. The princess is still barefoot, so she must have just left in a hurry. It's a good thing that she has sensible clothing on, so pants instead of that dress. So from what I think happened, she was captured preemptively by Jafar and sent into the dungeon to make sure that she does not try to escape. But she's doing it anyway, as you can see. She's getting out. And you would ask yourself, if the Sultan is home, is not far away in some war, the princess is here. Supposedly, the princess, since she is a nice girl, is appreciated by the guards and the other people in the palace. Why would they try to kill her? Why would they imprison her in the first place? Shouldn't they be loyal to her and the Sultan? So what I believe happened, they were all replaced by Jafar's men, or Jafar bribed them somehow, but mm, bribing all of them, I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, level 3. Level 3 is, well, one of the supposedly difficult ones, but once you get the hang of it and get the muscle memory in, then you just breeze right through these jumps. Unless you have difficulties with your arrow keys like I do. Yeah. There are also some bugs in the Prince of Persia game, and it shows in all of the mods, more or less. Even in the latest version, um, 1.4, that's the latest CD version of Prince of Persia. Even that one still has some bugs. Okay, here's one of the small potions. The skeleton is still the same. You will see when he gets up. Or she, well, we might not know unless we are good at forensic investigation. Those chompers, oh my goodness. I swear, they give me nightmares. Okay, a bit more about the mods, actually about the creator of the mods. I was saying his name is Clive Dent, and he has a Tumblr blog about this mod, about the development with frequent uh, updates about what he wanted to make, what progress he had made. And also the beginning is a story about his childhood and how he started playing this game when he was little. And he's saying how he was playing it with the neighborhood kids and his cousin, and he thought at the time that it was a very grown-up kind of game. So it wasn't all cute, flashy graphics. It was dark, somber, no music, except for, of course, these little bits. And he thought it was a really interesting game. And later on, yeah, when he found out he could still play it through emulation, he decided he could make a mod for it. As you can see, I went up to the right side. Oopsie. I went to the right side to get this potion, and also you will notice something that happened here in level 3. This is the only level where it happens. You have a checkpoint that you can well, the game automatically restores from if you die afterwards. So I think it's a nice touch. However, there are levels that are so much more difficult than this one. I mean, I spend a lot of time in level 7 because I kind of have issues with getting the timings right or making that jump at some point or something like that. You have to understand with each practice attempt, I learn a bit more, I do a bit better, I get a bit more of that muscle memory, but still, as you can see, at this point, I am still having some issues. Like the skeleton that killed me before. Yeah. So from what I understand, Clive then made the graphics for this, and I think they're pretty good. So he had to redraw everything, every frame of the sprite of the animation. He had to draw it frame by frame, so it looks as smooth as the original, of course. I think it's really cool. Okay, so this is the way to defeat the skeleton. You cannot kill him. This is one of the ad hoc tips you're getting from me. You have to push him back. But if you've played this game before, I'm sure that you know this. The skeleton doesn't have any life points, unlike some of the ports where he does actually have life points and you can kill him. Or her. Yeah. Another shot of the library. Okay. Level 4, this is a palace level. And you can already see that we have some color changes. So the carpet is different, it's a different shade. The walls are different. The gates are all gilded, which is interesting. And let me show you something soon here after I get into this room. Can you see the edge of that jumper? It's golden, which is, oh my goodness, fantastic. You get killed in style here in the palace. Nothing but the best jumpers, most expensive jumpers. And spikes. Oh, wait till you see the spikes. This is a trick to not have to not fall here, because if you don't jump at the exact distance, you will fall because the princess will take a couple more steps after landing from a jump. I was here checking if it's all okay to go down, and yes, it is. So this gate would have been closed if I'd managed to get to it earlier, but it's okay now. And we have another guard. I think this one is one of the original colorings. Sure looks familiar to me. One more thing that you will notice about the guards. If you hit them, give me a second, let's let me stop flailing that sword. Come on. So when you hit him, you don't get that star of red, supposedly a splash of blood coming from him when you hit him. You don't get that in this mod. So it's a bloodless mod. There is no blood in this mod. Well, unless you fall into a jump or I don't know about the spikes. Oh, look at the spikes. Oh my goodness, they're golden. Golden spikes. I was not paying attention here. Usually I have a pretty good strategy for the guards. It's a very safe one, so you stay in one place and you wait for the rhythm, because the guards usually come at you at approximately the same intervals. So you wait for them, you immediately block, and then you can hit. And you kind of have to spam the blocks and the hits. You know, because sometimes the guards will hit more times. They will not stop at just one. This is where the mirror will be. There was a tiny glitch there. I've seen it before. I don't think it's in the original. I think it's just in here. Those chompers are scary. Forgive me if I stare at them. And if you edge your way up just up to them and you take careful steps, you can get as close as possible without being jumped. But there are bugs. Oh, look at this. That's the Shadow Princess. Level 5, 46 minutes left. Okay, I think I'm sitting here for a while just to gather my courage because, oh boy, this game, it's sometimes it's anxiety inducing. It's quite stressful if you get to the very end of a level and you just miss a jump and the princess or the prince just dies and you have to start over from scratch. And some places the levels are very, very tough. You need perfect timing and yeah. I'm sorry about that. I missed the opportunity to go backwards because if the princess does not have the sword out and isn't in combat mode, then one hit and she's dead. So what I should have done is move backwards as much as possible, uh, get the opportunity to get the sword out, and then the princess could have killed the guard. Okay. Careful, careful. Now, I go to the right. It's a little detour that isn't necessary for finishing this level. But you can see there that's the extra potion, the large potion, the vase. And you will see here that the Shadow Princess comes. Go, go, go. And she steals your potion and runs away. And then suddenly disappears. That's how it goes. She's magical. But I wanted to show you the Shadow Princess once again. So I have a bit of the history of how the Shadow Prince was created in my other video about the Prince of Persia history and retrospective. And it's simply because of the restrictions, the memory restrictions that are in the Apple II. Basically, the creator of the game, Jordan Mechner, ran out of space for creating one more enemy, and he was thinking, what am I going to do? So he had a very creative solution to use the already existing graphics and just do a little trick to make basically a sort of a negated image. You could say it's sort of inverted, just an outline, and just with one simple command. And it was a very elegant and creative solution for that kind of problem. And I think it's much more interesting that he did that than to have one more random enemy. We get instead um, a negative prince, so the dark side of the prince, a dark alter ego, or the princess, of course, in this case. Okay, this is the end of this level. So I'm not going to show you all of this. I told you I do stop at level 8. I'm not going to show you all that much because there isn't too much to see. But I will go as far as showing you the next guard here, and then I will have that clip of the Sultan. Oopsie. I'll have the clip of the Sultan getting sending his pet snake, or I'm not sure exactly. It looks like a snake. Instead of the mouse that is in the original game. Oh no, I did not get close enough. Ouch. That happens. Okay. So to make this jump properly, you need to get as close as possible to the edge. Just make a normal jump and then get through the spikes. Okay, so this one is a different kind of graphics. It's a whole new sprite for this guard. If you remember in the original Prince of Persia, this guard is the big guard, the fat guard, that's what everybody calls him. And he's one of the most difficult ones, even more difficult than Jafar, because he blocks a lot, he hits a lot of times before stopping. So you get these sequences of a lot of hits and blocks. And if you're not careful, then you miss one, then he can really do a lot of damage to you. But as you can see, I'm doing quite well. So in this particular case, it was a woman. So a different, entirely new graphics for this guard. So it's interesting. Okay, and now we see the Shadow Princess once again. She is over there, ready to cause trouble for us. And yeah. Now the princess has fallen down back to the dungeon, back to level 7. Uh, which is where I will spend quite a little, quite a lot of times. So let me just show you the good run through level 7. How about that? Okay, here we are. I'm pretty sure this is what the good level 7 looks like. Okay. Ah, it's a bit of a not so good start, but you know, okay, you will forgive me that one as well, I hope. Come on. Ah, there we go. Good job. I'm not saying that to myself, I'm saying that to the princess. Okay, here is where I try once again, as usual, to stand off to as far as possible and not get hit by the falling bricks. I still don't manage. If you're wondering why I'm not crouching, um, you will see in the Prince of Persia tips video that I'm preparing that at some point I crouch and the prince just he dies. I mean, with several hit points left, he just dies from that, from being hit in the head by that falling ledge. I don't know how it happened. It's only supposed to take one hit point of damage, but you know, once you have that sort of stuff happen to you, you kind of get stressed out and you start to get paranoid and think, oh, what if it happens again? What if the prince, instead of losing one health point, what if he loses all of them? Maybe I should not crouch, so I don't crouch anymore. Right. You will see this level has basically three. You have seen the three one at the bottom. Um, three main levels, and it's preferable to go through from left to right on the top one, and it's preferable then to go through the mid one because it's the easiest rather than okay, this one I did properly, rather than go through the very bottom, which has a few trickier jumps. Okay, so I think you saw here I was fighting the guard, I got knocked back and fell to the bottom side. Whew, good save. So I got knocked back earlier by the guard and I went backwards a few steps just to make sure that I can draw the sword out. Chompers! Aren't they scary? Oh my. And this is a place where we would have had that um, a ledge that closes the gate right on the bottom, but we disabled it earlier. And that was the green potion that I was just so eager to get to. I didn't manage to show it to you properly, but it's basically one of those big vases, like I mentioned before. Only it has those green bubbles coming out of it, so you know it's the green potion. And basically you have this, yay, you have this kind of a magical effect where the princess just glides downwards without getting any damage. And that happens as long as that music that you hear plays. Oh, look at this. Here we have the Sultan who's sending his, it looks like a pet snake from his turban to go and help the princess. And unfortunately, I don't manage to get to the part. I fall just before then, so I'm sorry about that. But here we have that special kind of guard in level 8, the first guard. You will see that he does not advance at all. He will always keep the same distance. Unless you go backwards, he will not come after you. So if your strategy is to let them come to you and attack first, then it won't work here. You have to advance towards them and you have to hit. So it's a difficult one because sometimes if you're not careful and if you don't advance and immediately block, then you will get hit because that guard is very good on the first attack, and he usually lands the first jab. So we have to block, definitely. Okay, some spikes. No problem there. As soon as they're out, you can just go. You can even dance on top of them. They won't do anything. These are budget spikes, by the way. Not in like in the palace. The palace spikes were golden. These are budget spikes. Budget spikes, chompers, not as good as the palace ones. Here's another guard with antlers. I swear if I find out for sure what it is, it would be nice. I don't know if you saw, but it looked like there was uh, some more purple graphics around the guard's hands. I'm not sure. Maybe we can see it here with this guy. So this is the second guard in this level that's interesting. You have to just sneak by underneath. That was scary. You have to sneak by so that he does not turn towards you, because if you run, he will hear you, or she. I don't know exactly if these are women or not. So this guard is going to hear you and turn around. And if they're facing you when you come up here, you will not have time to draw your sword at all. You will not have time to draw your sword and just kill it instantly. And a very good strategy here is to kill the guard on that triggering ledge, because these chompers are, well, this one is kind of bugged for some reason. Yep, wow, Yauchis. So that chomper is a problem. Even if I edged very close to up to it, the princess did not stop right before the chomper and she just got hurt. It was a problem. Um, right. So I think I'm going to end the video here. It's quite a lot already anyway. And there's no point to show you any more of this level because I get stuck at level 8, as I mentioned before. And I'm sorry I cannot show you when the snake comes to the rescue. But if you've seen the original, there is a mouse and the snake does exactly the same thing. Right. So I'm going to end the video here. I'm just going to say one more thing. There is another Princess of Persia mod out there that's inspired by this one. I'm going to show you some footage here very quickly. The princess is really similar in both mobs. Sorry, in both mods. And in the other one, that's also called Princess of Persia, in the other mod, instead of a boy, you are a girl who is the princess's girlfriend, and it's a different take on it, you know? So, yes, this is everything right now. I'm going to still work on that Prince of Persia tips video. It's still going to come out. I have not forgotten about it, of course, but it's taking a while, so this is a bit of a diversion until then. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this, and I hope you give this mod a try. It's interesting. It's a different style, and maybe you'll enjoy playing as a girl instead of the usual prince. Okay, take care. Bye bye.